Before you start filling in your plans, your projects, your to-do list, and all the dates, take a breath. Best way to begin your 2026 Sprouted Planner is by getting clear on what really matters. Your values, your intentions, your people, and your hopes for the year ahead. Hello, Sprouted friends. Even though we're only in the month of October, if you're watching this in real time, I wanted to get this video up for my planning early birds. Also, you can watch them whenever you are ready to set up your planner, whether that's in October or the end of December or already into January and beyond. In this video, I'll walk you through the first section of your Sprouted Planner, the values prep pages. So your year is grounded in intention of the things that matter most to you. This is part one of a 3-part 2026 Sprouted Planner setup series. Today, we're going to start with your foundation, your values, your intentions, your people, and your hopes for the year ahead. Then in part 2, we're going to zoom out for big picture planning. And in part 3, we're going to bring it all together in your monthly calendars. In your 2026 Sprouted Planner, there's also a setup page to help guide you during this setup. And I know I'm talking your planner love language when I tell you that there's boxes that you can check off after you complete each section. You're welcome. While you could use these same foundational setup steps in any planner, these videos are going to be specific to Sprouted Planners and those layouts. So for this entire series, I'm going to use the 2026 weekly Sprouted Planner. Both the daily and the hourly planners have the exact same prep pages. All right, without further ado, let's dive right in. Before we move into our core values, let's just start at the beginning. Here, in my opinion, we have the most nerve-wracking part of filling out your entire planner, making sure your name looks okay in the center of the line. If you ever leave your planner somewhere, go ahead and write your phone number in here or your email, however you want to be contacted. Here are the steps that we are going to be following along with on our values prep. Starting with core values. We are going to identify our 5 core values, starting with this page. Your core values are the 5 words or phrases that represent what matters the absolute most to you right now. They are your inner compass. They're going to guide you on how to spend your time, energy, and attention. New this year to the planner, I have a guide for how to figure out your core values. If you've identified them last year, if they haven't changed, you can skip right over this. Or if this is something you want to do, give it a whirl, see if there's something you're missing or something that's more of a maybe succinct word or phrase to help you, you can go ahead and do that. So if you are going to do that this year, here are the steps. So first, you are going to brain dump. List what matters most to you just off the top of your head. Just don't try to make it any fancy words. You can write roles that you're in. You can write people. You can write kind of work that you like. You can write cooking. You can do anything, just anything that really matters to you. Just brain dump it right here. Next, you can either use a highlighter and go through and highlight the things that really speak to you most on this list, or you can use a pen and you can cross off the things that don't speak to you, or you can use a combination of 2. Either way, you want to highlight the things that speak to you. So once you do these 2 things, you move to list 3. You marry these 2 lists together to get a short list of like 10 to 15 values. And what I mean by marry, let's say you wrote down God on this list. And then over here, you also highlighted faith, religion, and spirituality. Clearly, there's a theme going here. So you're going to marry those together. You can pick whichever of those phrases, whatever, maybe you make a new phrase, creating your umbrella statement here to marry those ideas together. And that's where you're going to write it here. So you're going to kind of write your umbrella list here, the things that kind of go together. So marry those lists together. Oh, hi, squirrel. And you're going to list that here. Off of that short list, you're going to move to your final step. Write down the core 5 that are your top priority in this season of life. So write those in here and write down just a sentence or 2 of why it's so important to you. This will take you a little bit of time. But once you have those core values, then you are going to come over here to your intentions. We don't move on to, but we expand upon intentions. Unlike goals, intentions aren't about achieving, they're really about being. Think of them as the energy or the mindset that you want to bring into 2026. Intentions are about deciding ahead of time what you'll do and why. Here, you're going to write your core values from this list, but you just write the word, and then you're gonna list over here 2 or 3 ways or actions you want to live out each value. So let's say we are sticking with the theme of faith. So you're gonna write this here, and under intentions, okay, again, these are just examples. So if your value is faith and how you want to live those out is you intend to go to church every week, you intend to read your Bible every weekday morning, and you want to attend one retreat in the fall or the spring or something. These are your intents. You're setting your mind to do these things, and that is how you are going to live out that core value of faith. So you are going to do that for the remaining 4 values that you have. Now we'll turn to your people page. This section is all about remembering who are your home team people and how we want to nurture them. Life gets so busy, we get sucked into things, and yet people are our truest joys in life, most of the time. So let's treat them that way. If you've been in Spread Planner before, this is kind of a new setup. So here I was really inspired by Greg McEwen, talked about scales of importance in a relationship. We have our 1,000x people, and they are our most important people. So these are going to be your people that when things aren't right with them, nothing feels right in your life. I think for a lot of people, this will probably be your spouse. If you have kids, it'll be people that might be your parents or your siblings or whoever it is. These are just like your most important relationship. Next, we move to your 10x people. So they are your select group of friends and family that deserve your kind of concerted efforts. So they are going to be the people that get your priority time. They are the people that you want to invest in the most this year. These are people you really want to focus on keeping healthy and nourished. And then your 1X relationships are going to be so many of these people that we have in our lives. They matter to you. They might be workplace relationships, acquaintances. They might be people in your neighborhood, just people, other people in your network. So that they're important. Of course, all people are important. But if these relationships are floundering, you're largely going to be okay. Like these are people that if push comes to shove, you can put them aside for a season of life, and that's okay. I also think of these people as like when you have kids and your kids are in sports and you kind of create this bond with these fellow parents because you're going through something similar, and then you get out of that. I really think of these as that too. But it's your 1,000x and 10x people. Like these 2 rings are going to create your home team. So these are the people that you want to put over here. This page, what you're going to do is you are going to list out your home team. Up in this header bar, you're going to write those people's names down here. You may take up all this, you may not. It completely is up to the person. And then in this little circle, or you can do the whole thing, whatever you want to do, you are going to color code it. So you have your color code here. You can take your highlighter and color code it in. This is bad. All right, there's my terrible coloring. But then let's say here, I'm listing out my husband, my kids, I see Oliver, my mom, my sister, okay, etc. So you're gonna fill in everybody. Like I need to spend the most concerted effort with my husband and my kids. Like when things are tanking here, nothing feels right to me. And then when I list the rest of my home teams, like my mom and my sister, man, I could almost do, you could even do something like this. If you wanted, it's your rules. You could do a little half and half if you wanted. And then, you know, anyone else in my life is gonna be kind of these 10X people, whoever they are. I probably am not gonna put my 1Xers out on this list, but you certainly can. Like there's some people that I may put down here that I do want to keep in contact with. Like I don't want to lose touch with them, but it may just be a coffee once a year. So you could absolutely list those people and then just, you know, and if you do, you give them a color code too. Yes, a kindergartner filled this in. Okay, you fill out your people. Finally, we have our hopes for the year. Think about how you want 2026 to feel. How do you want to grow? What do you want to grow, explore, or experience more deeply? So this is just freestyle. Write down anything that comes to mind. If you want a little more guided approach, up here, I do have areas that you could choose. You could do them all. You could talk about what are your hopes for your health, physical and emotional. What are your hopes for your relationships? What are your hopes for your faith, for your career? What are your hopes for your finances? Or what areas do you want to grow in this year? What kind of joy do you want to experience this year? How social do you want to be? Or how about purpose and legacy? What are your hopes around building that this year? Home and community. So you can choose some of these or not at all. You just jot down what are your hopes for the year. If you'll notice, I am not a big goal planner. You can certainly add goals into here, but I think before you start writing down your goals, this is really important to just get this down on a page, because a lot of us have these unverbalized, even though you're writing it down, but these unverbalized expectations of the year. I mean, you'll just hear this anywhere. People starting towards the end of the year, like, I can't wait for the new year to start. I think it's going to be the best year, things like that. We have these ideas, we have these hopes for the year. And before we can really hone in further on it, we really need to just jot down, like, what are these expectations? What are these hopes that we have for the year ahead? So here's where you do that. Okay. And this is where we end. Well done. This is the heaviest lift of setting up your planner. So you should be proud and probably go take a nap. Next up in part 2, we will zoom out to your big picture. The year at a glance, holidays, yearly bucket list, and more. You don't want to miss it. Okay, I hate asking this, but if you loved this type of video, could you please subscribe to my channel? Ugh, I hate asking that. It's so yucky. Well, subscribe to my channel. Okay, but honestly, that tells me that I'm doing something right. And to keep going instead of just crying in my coffee, because these videos take a lot of work. Also, if you don't have your 2026 Sprouted Planner, they are ready and available for you to grab at sproutedplanner.com. I have videos up the wazoo, walking through everything in this collection. You can find that whole collection of videos here, or I will also link it in the video notes below. Okay, now I would love to hear from you. As you set up this section, is there anything that surprised you in this setup? Or anything that particularly moved you or provided clarity? If you're willing to share with the class, we would love to hear that. Or if you haven't done this yet, if you're just watching the video and then plan on diving in, I want to hear what maybe you're most excited about or most nervous about. I don't know. I just gave you a whole novel to write. Just let me know one of those below. Thank you for spending your precious time watching this video, and I will catch you on the next one, which will be part 2, big picture planning. Hello, Sprouted Also, if you don't have your 2026 Sprouted Planner, what the heck are you waiting for? Nope, that wasn't it. Is it working? Have you subscribed yet?